It was a slow Friday night, one of those shifts where you start counting down the minutes until close. I'd already cleaned the prep station twice and was halfway through sweeping the floor when the phone rang. Delivery for 147 Pine Hollow Road, my manager said, scribbling it down on the ticket. Cash order, big one too, 3 large pizzas, wings, and a 2-liter. I frowned. Pine Hollow Road was out past the edge of town, where streetlights turned into cornfields and potholes. I'd been there once before. Creepy place. Half the homes looked abandoned. Still, a $50 order usually meant a decent tip. I packed everything up, slid into my car, and punched the address into my GPS. 11:17 p.m. I could make it back before close if I didn't mess around. The road got darker the farther I went. The hum of my tires against the pavement was the only sound. No cars, no houses, just long stretches of trees. My GPS told me to turn down a gravel drive, and when I did, the headlights caught a small, weathered house tucked back behind a thicket of brush. No porch light, no movement inside. I grabbed the order and stepped out, gravel crunching under my shoes. The night air felt heavy, still. A single dim bulb flickered above the door, just enough to cast long shadows across the porch. I knocked. Nothing. Knocked again, louder. Finally, I heard movement, slow, deliberate footsteps coming from inside. The door cracked open just enough for me to see a sliver of a man's face. He was pale, unshaven, eyes darting like he wasn't sure whether to open the door. Hi, pizza delivery, I said, forcing a friendly tone. 5250. The man glanced over his shoulder, then back at me. Yeah, come in, I'll grab the cash. My gut tightened. We weren't supposed to go inside, ever. Company policy. But I'd had people ask before, usually older folks, afraid of leaving their door open at night. Still, something about the way he said it, flat, almost rehearsed, made every instinct scream no. That's okay, sir. I can wait here, I said, holding out the receipt. He paused. His lips twitched, like he wanted to argue, then nodded. All right, just a sec. He shut the door. I exhaled, shifting the boxes in my hands. A dog barked in the distance, sharp and sudden. I waited. 30 seconds. Then a minute. Nothing. I leaned forward, listening. The house was silent. I was just about to turn back toward my car when I heard it, a faint sound behind me, like a branch snapping. I spun around. The porch light flickered again, then died completely, plunging everything into darkness. My eyes strained to adjust. That's when I saw movement, a silhouette standing near the tree line, motionless. Hello, I called, voice shaking. No response. Another shape appeared beside it, then another. 3 figures now, half hidden in the shadows. I backed toward my car, heart pounding. Look, man, I don't want any trouble. The front door creaked open again. The pale man stepped out, now holding something glinting in the moonlight. A knife. I dropped the pizzas and ran. Gravel sprayed under my shoes as I bolted toward my car. I yanked the door open, slammed it shut, and fumbled for my keys. My hands were shaking so hard I nearly dropped them. Headlights. Someone was behind me now. A second car, dark, engine idling, blocking the end of the drive. Come on, I whispered, twisting the key. The engine sputtered, then roared to life. I threw it into reverse, tires spitting rocks. One of the figures rushed forward, slamming something against my window. The glass cracked but held. I floored it, jerking the wheel to the side, the car fishtailing before I found the narrow opening along the ditch. Branches scraped the sides as I shot back onto the main road. My heart was hammering so hard it hurt. In the rear view, I saw headlights flicker on. They were following me. I pressed harder on the gas. The speedometer climbed. 55, 65, 80. The road twisted through woods. No lights, no signs. My phone buzzed from the passenger seat, GPS trying to reroute. They were gaining. I veered onto an old service road, one I use sometimes to cut back toward town. The car behind me slowed, then disappeared around the bend. I didn't know if they'd lost me or were circling another way. I didn't care. I didn't stop until I hit the glow of streetlights again. When I finally pulled into the shop, I was shaking so bad I could barely turn off the engine. My manager looked up from the register, eyebrows raised. Where's the order? Forget it, I gasped. There's something wrong out there. I told him everything about the man, the shadows, the knife, the car. He stared at me, pale. You're serious? Call the cops, I said, now. They sent 2 cruisers. When they got to the address, the place was empty. No lights, no furniture, nothing. Just an abandoned shell of a house. The order, it didn't exist. No call in the system. No record on the register. It was fake. Someone had placed it just to lure me there. The police told me I was lucky. Real lucky. There'd been reports, they said, delivery drivers robbed or disappearing after cash orders at unlisted addresses. Usually rural, isolated. I quit 2 days later. I still drive sometimes late at night, and I'll pass an old gravel turnoff or a flickering porch light, and it all comes back. The silence. The shadows. The feeling that someone was waiting just beyond the dark, watching, smiling, ready to make sure I never made it home. It was raining the night I got the call, not the soft, gentle kind, but the hard, relentless kind that makes the roads shine like glass. I'd been running deliveries all evening, just trying to make it through the last hour of my shift. Then the ticket printed. Address 421 Brookshire Lane. Special instructions: come around back, basement door, front bell doesn't work. I remember staring at the note, frowning. Brookshire Lane was a nice area. Not rural or isolated like most of the bad ones. But basement delivery? That was weird. Nobody asked for that. Still, it was late and I was tired. I loaded up the large pepperoni and the breadsticks and headed out. The rain had turned the streets into mirrors, my wipers squeaking across the glass as I drove through the empty neighborhood. The houses here were big, old, most with tall hedges and long driveways. When I pulled up, the house looked normal enough. 2 stories, well-kept yard, lights on upstairs, but something about it felt off. No porch light, no movement behind the windows. I killed the engine and grabbed the order. The rain was pounding now, soaking my hoodie as I made my way along the side of the house toward the back. I found the basement door, one of those solid white ones with a small window near the top. A faint yellow glow came from inside. I knocked. After a moment, a voice called out, muffled, male. "Door's open. Come on in. I'm in the back room." My stomach nodded. We were never supposed to enter a house, ever. Company rule. But it was pouring, and I was already drenched. I hesitated, then cracked the door just enough to call back. I can hand it off here." "Back room," the voice yelled again, sharper this time. I froze. Something about the tone was wrong. Impatient, but not in a normal way. It didn't sound like a guy waiting on pizza. More like someone giving an order. I stepped back. The air inside smelled off. Damp, like concrete and mildew. I started to turn toward the car, then another voice, quieter from deeper in the basement. "Please, don't." I stopped dead. It wasn't the same voice. This one was hoarse, weak, scared. "Hello?" I called, heart hammering. Silence. Then footsteps, slow, uneven, coming closer from inside. I dropped the pizza on the step and backed up, rain hitting my face. "I'm leaving," I shouted. The footsteps stopped, then a whisper. "Run." That was all I needed. I turned and bolted through the rain, shoes slipping in the mud. I was halfway to my car when I heard the basement door slam open behind me. Bang! I didn't look back. Keys shaking in my hand, I dove into the driver's seat, slammed the lock, and started the engine. Headlights cut through the storm, and in that brief flash I saw him. A man standing in the doorway, tall, soaked, staring straight at me. Something glinted in his hand. Not a phone, not a wallet. A knife. I threw the car into drive and tore out of there, tires screeching on wet pavement. I didn't stop until I reached the main road. Pulled into a gas station, hands shaking so bad I couldn't dial my phone right. The police came fast. I gave them the address, told them everything. They went in, checked the house, and here's the part that still makes my skin crawl. The owners were out of town. Had been for a week. No one should have been there. When officers searched the basement, they found muddy footprints leading to a locked storage room. They had to break the door open. Inside, a woman, barefoot, duct tape on her wrists, shaking. She'd been reported missing 3 days earlier. Said she'd woken up in that room, no idea how she got there. Said a man kept coming down to bring her water, always through the back door, never speaking much. When he heard me knock, she begged him to let her go. He refused. When I spoke, she saw her chance. She told me she whispered that one word, "Run," hoping it would save us both. The man fled before police arrived. They found a trail in the woods, footprints leading toward the interstate. They never caught him. I quit delivering the next day. Couldn't even drive at night for weeks. Every time I saw a house with the lights off and the curtains drawn, my stomach would twist. It's been 2 years now. I still think about that woman. Her voice, low and desperate, cutting through the rain. And sometimes, late at night, when I drive past Brookshire Lane, I swear I can see that house again. Dark, silent, waiting. And in the back, through that little basement window, a faint light still burns. It was my last run of the night, one of those late calls that come in right before close. Large meat lovers, breadsticks, 2-liter, cash order. The address caught my eye right away. It wasn't in our system, no street name, just a set of coordinates and a note. New development, GPS will guide you, look for the house with the porch light on. That should have been my first red flag. We rarely got orders out that far. New developments meant unfinished streets, half-built homes, no lights. But my manager said it was fine, just another construction zone. So I loaded up, clocked out, and hit the road. The route took me past the edge of town, where the streetlights disappeared and the pavement turned rough and patchy. I followed my GPS through rows of empty lots, skeletal frames of houses, and half-paved driveways. Most of the area was pitch black, except for one small glow in the distance, a single porch light. That had to be it. I parked out front. No cars in the driveway, no signs of life except that soft yellow light above the door. Easy one, I muttered, grabbing the pizza. Drop and go. When I got to the porch, I noticed something strange. The house was finished, but not lived in. No curtains, no furniture through the window, just bare walls. Still, the light was on. Someone had to be there. I knocked. No answer. I knocked again, louder this time. The sound echoed through the house, hollow. Finally, a voice called out, muffled, from somewhere inside. Back door, I froze. It wasn't what he said, it was how he said it. Flat, mechanical, like he'd practiced it. I hesitated, looked around. The place was surrounded by tall grass and dirt lots. No neighbors, no movement, no sound. Company policy says we don't go around back, I called. Nothing. Silence. I turned to head back toward my car, and that's when I saw movement in the upstairs window. Just a flash, like someone stepping out of sight. A chill ran down my spine. I got into the car, set the pizza on the passenger seat, and started the engine. That's when my phone buzzed. Unknown number. I answered, thinking maybe it was the customer. Hello. Static. Then a voice. You're late. My heart skipped. Who is this? You're late. Come to the back door. Click. The call ended. The GPS on my dash suddenly blinked, then froze. The screen turned black. That was it. I was done. I threw the car in reverse, spun it around, and started back toward the main road. But as I turned the corner, headlights appeared in my mirror. A white van. No plates. It pulled out from a side street, one I hadn't noticed before, and started following me. At first, I thought it might be coincidence. Then the high beams flashed, twice, and the van sped up. Okay, no, I whispered, pressing harder on the gas. I took a sharp turn, tires skidding on gravel. The van matched me. Every move. I hit another turn, a dead end. The road just stopped. Dirt and brush. The van's headlights filled my mirror. There was nowhere to go. I killed the engine, cut the lights, and ducked down, praying they'd pass. But they didn't. The engine idled behind me. Then, doors opened. 2 of them. Footsteps, crunching gravel, getting closer. I could hear them now, low voices, whispering, circling the car. I slid my hand toward the gear shift, trying to stay calm. If I could just floor it in reverse, maybe? Something tapped my window. Once, twice. I didn't move, didn't breathe. A shadow loomed beside me, tall, broad-shouldered, a hood pulled low. Then a voice, the same one from the phone. You shouldn't have left. That was all I needed to hear. I slammed the car into gear and stomped the gas. The tires screamed as I jerked the wheel, clipping something, maybe one of them, and tore back the way I came. I didn't look back. Not once. It took 15 minutes before I saw another light. The glow of a gas station sign on the horizon. I pulled in fast, parked under the bright canopy, and ran inside. The clerk stared at me. You okay? I couldn't even answer, just pointed out the window. But the road behind me was empty. No van, no headlights, nothing. The cops came, took my statement. They ran the coordinates from the delivery ticket. There was no house, no address, just an empty field, no power, no structure, nothing but dirt. They drove me back out there the next day to prove it. Same spot, no light, no building, just tire tracks, leading in circles. They said maybe it was a prank, some construction crew messing around. But I know what I saw, the porch, the window, the voice on the phone. and the eyes staring at me from the dark. I quit a week later, never did another delivery. Still drive by that area sometimes though. Construction's long gone, but every now and then, I swear I see it. A glow, way back in the weeds. A house that shouldn't exist. And a porch light, waiting for me to come back.